Hi, everybody. My name is Andy Warhol Jr., my father's best kept secret. Listen, I want to tell you about this really funny guy I saw on Monday named Will Franken, but first, I have to tell you about my really weird day today. So I'm walking down the high street of this town I live in called Folkestone, don't ask me why, and I pass by this pub, and I can hear this karaoke singer going through all the disco classics, It's Raining Men, Funky Town, We Are Family, and I can hear the crowd is very enthusiastic and supportive, but you know what? It didn't make me happy. So I turn the corner and I can see this really long queue of tech yuppies all waiting in line to pay a minimum of £6.50 for an ordinary cup of coffee. And that didn't make me happy either. So then I moseyed on down to this place called the Creative Quarter, which is actually an area of town owned by a multi-billionaire called Sir Roger De Haan. And I saw this person leaving a gallery having just paid £750 for a print of Audrey Hepburn standing in front of a Union Jack. And even that didn't make me happy. So I turned around and headed back home. And along the way, I passed by this huge construction project with all of these computer generated images of what it's going to look like when it's done. And it said, "Thank you for your patience. A brighter future is taking shape. Folkestone and Hythe Town Council is investing £22 million to make sure there's a few more park benches in this area." And you guessed it, even that didn't make me happy. So, as I was walking home, I started thinking about all of the corrupt landlords this year who waited until 2 weeks before the renters' rights bill came into effect to demand their tenants pay twice the amount of rent they were paying or face illegal eviction. And that didn't make me happy. So by the time I booted up this laptop to tell you about this guy, Will Franken, I had thought about all of the Philistine programming on the BBC, the reductive stupidity of the culture war, and how our economy is probably being run by individuals masturbating at images of AI artwork to the point of dehydration. And none of these things made me happy. And that's when I realized, you know what? There's something wrong with me. I am a deeply unhappy person. So I made the decision this afternoon to start taking pills. And so far it's been okay. There have been a few side effects. Every now and then, one of the side effects is that I will become this guy, Will Franken. Whoa. Oh my God, that is such a fucked up sensation. You know, I've been taking these pills because the world is so fucked up and there's all this stupid greed and AI and you just can't take it. Basically, what it does is it insulates your brain against all the bullshit of the external world, and it makes you realize that it's not your fault. It's fault. And they're okay so far, but every now and then they do make me think that I'm Andy Warhol Jr., if indeed there is such a thing as Andy Warhol Jr. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the Will Franken public channel. My name is Gert McHendrick, and I'm going to go ahead and proceed as if I am myself, Will Franken. The show in Clapham was very wonderful. Thank you for asking. And there will be a filmed, it was filmed, and it's going to be available at the shop, willfranken.com, very shortly. What am I doing? I'm promoting, because I think in 2026 this internet thing is really going to take off, and either late or early, I don't know. It's one or the other, depending on if time actually is a circle. I could be early. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to talk long because this is for the public. And if you really, the fuck, what did you see that? You heard it, didn't you? Oh my lord! My book on the history of pantomime fell down, knocking with it the Ramayana. Steady, calm, proceed on. So the video of the 1 hour show that I did in Clapham, this in London, South London, some of you attended that. It was good to see you, Simon and Katie and James and all of the patrons that showed up, as well as sundry others. And we will have that available in the shop, willfranken.com, for sale. I want to thank everybody who's been to the shop so far. Again, that shop is willfranken.com. You'll find it here on the internet web. You'll find it here, yes. And I want to thank all of you who've purchased things from that shop so far, whether those are advance tickets for my shows or albums or videos of live shows. I want to thank in particular, well, there's Luke, and I want to thank in particular Mary. I'm not going to use her surnames in case you don't want your privacy invaded. Mary, I was going to give you the vice presidentship of the company, but I'm afraid I saw in your profile that you're a fan or contributor or donor to a Will Franken. Well, I don't. All I know about him is that he incurred the wrath of the mainstream comedy establishment. And though I've never done comedy in my life, what I do know is that stand-up comedians are some of the most giving, selfless creatures in the world, and anybody that can incur their wrath is not wanted here. So I'm sorry, Mary. I'm afraid you'll never rise above the station of charwoman. But thank you, Mary, because Mary made 3 purchases on the willfranken.com store, at the willfranken.com store. You can get anything you want at the willfranken.com online shop, excepting Alice. Mary made 3 purchases, which I don't know if you did this, well, if this was, a strategic thing, but it's I'm 53 years old now. Yeah. You never met anybody that old, have you? 53 years. I think last night I was doing one of these cabaret murder mysteries last night. Where you get 50 pounds for walking around for 3 hours eating fancy food, saying, "That is not my wife. I did not murder Marjorie. How dare you say that, Sir Crampton?" It's a cabaret work, and there was somebody who had an 18-year-old, there was an 18-year-old birthday party there, and I said, 18 years young today, instead of, the usual, 94 years young. Never say old, grandmother, never say old. There's something funny we'll do, grandmother, until you're dead in 2 weeks. Yes, we'll every time we mention your age, we'll say, she's 95 years young today. But when you're 18, you do say 18 years old. I'm 18 years old. 18 years young. You've still got plenty of life left in you. 18 years old. You are dying. That's why I didn't know that. That does happen to kids sometimes, doesn't it? What was I talking about? See, I should have derailed it. I'm derailing because I think the derailing is entertaining, because this is not actually what I do. I do studio type stuff and live shows that are scripted with a little bit of improv thrown in. A little stretch in the fabric every now and then, but not. Oh, Mary, yeah. So Mary went to the Will Franken shop the day before the show in Clapham. And by the way, I want to plug another show. A week from today in Brighton, I will be back in Brighton at a place called Madame Lola's, and this is I'll be on the bill with Artist, right? This, which is a different vibe entirely, which is kind of what I was into way back in the day in San Francisco. Like you'd be on a bill with somebody who talked to goldfish, and then somebody who played the Chinese song, and then it'd be you, and that was, it was much happier times. And then I fell in with the old, "Hello, I do comedy, so give it up for your headliner." I remember having stories in a bit. I have to mention Mary. I have to conclude this. What I was saying about Mary, that Mary bought the following items, and I've not mentioned your surname, Mary, but again, I want to thank you because it meant a lot. It was kind of like 3 major bullet points in my life and my career. The first was the album "Putting Smiles on the Faces of Dead People," and that is Will Franken when he's still living in Missouri. He's still. I'm in my 20s. I've discovered the joys of an analog 4-track recorder, and I'm learning how to talk to myself and leave gaps and create 4 different people at once, and that shit is properly weird. The one that was a big hit when I sold these in San Francisco was Whitney Houston's "Mental Breakdown." She was still living at the time, of course, and she was singing all of these nonsense lyrics to "Greatest Love of All." I believe that Jeremiah Crenshaw destroyed the world in 1962 and was subject to a series of endless lawsuits. They tanned his Negro hide. And then the engineer says, "Whitney, we've got a problem with the lyrics. What's the problem? I wrote the motherfucker. You don't get in my head, bitch." So that's just a little teaser. That's on the album "Putting Smiles on the Faces of Dead People." So Mary bought that, which is me in my 20s. before even San Francisco, actually, just a handful of live shows. Played at a few coffee shops in the area and all that, but not, some really old Will Franken stuff. And then she bought the 2009 videos of the Purple Onion sets from San Francisco when I'm, really, making strides there at the Purple Onion Comedy Club, which is now closed. And then she bought Silvatico 4, which is the, Baby Reindeer Part 2. Silvatico 4, which is, just 2 years ago. So it's like these 3 major bullet points on my, and I don't know if you did that on purpose, Mary, or whatever, but I really appreciate it. And thank you. So I was going to tell a little story from ye olden times. I used to, when I was getting my master's degree in Springfield, Missouri, I was getting my master's in Restoration and 18th century British literature, because at the time that there was a huge boom in the Restoration and 18th century British literature, especially in Missouri, especially in the Ozark region of Missouri. And there was, eventually that bubble burst because everybody was doing it, Afrabane this and John Dryden that, and and then the computers took over. It was a kind of a head-to-head for a while. It was laptop and Apple, and then Restoration literature from Britain, and it was just, and then eventually the laptop, as we know now, the laptop thing went out, the device and the apples and all that stuff. The fucking seagull there, their timing is so horrible. Anyway, when I was getting my master's, I was starting to do. There was at the Ramada Inn on the outskirts of Springfield, Missouri. There was a comedy club called the Funny Bone Comedy Club, and I was starting to fuck around there on Wednesday nights. And there was the guy that booked it was really enthusiastic, and he said, hey, you got to go to Kansas City. There's a guy in Kansas City, and he runs these nights, and I'll put in a word for you. You go to Kansas City. So I knew Kansas City pretty well, and I, one weekend or whatever, I drove all the way up to Kansas City. And I'd prepared, and I was told that you get 15 minutes. So I'd written out all of these 15 minutes. And I never once in my life ever did stand-up. And if I never make it at all, if I live the rest of my life, miserable and impoverished, and die in obscurity, I want it to be known that I never once did stand-up. Unless I was mocking it, like the thing that my girlfriend and I did, which I hope you guys enjoyed, which is this roundup of the Fringe, which is 1 year old. Really, she discovered that sound file that we made on her phone, and because there is one Starmer reference in it, so he was still vice president, prime minister. What's the fucking difference anymore? They got the Nolden guy there to make it look like he cares about people. I'll tell you, here's what I'm going to do: cost of living crisis. Right. The reason we use here's how you break it down. Poverty is for people who don't have enough to live. Cost of living crisis is for people who don't want to live with enough. And there's more of us than there are of the poor people, and we're tired of hearing about them. So one of the things we're going to do to combat the cost of living crisis is to ignore the poor people. The shit that he's into, man, like fucking, I'm going to crack down on subscription fees. Like, fuck you. Not everybody is a fat, stupid fucking consumer. Go to fucking America, you douchebag. What a prick. So anyway, just to be clear, yeah. Cost of living is for people who can't live with enough, and poverty is for people who don't have enough to live. And that's it's nice that people are muddying the waters and have been doing for years now. But that's just the way the economy is. We're all feeling the pinch. Stop pinching yourself. You're pinching yourself. Stop pinching yourself. You will live. You have food. You have shelter. You will live. So anyway, back to the Springfield. I never did stand up, unless I'm making fun of it. So are we all excited about Christmas? Yeah, Christmas is kind of funny. Last year I accidentally wrapped myself up in a bow. My husband was white. Yeah. I look like a Muppet. I look like Beaker. I just know what I'm doing. So the guy from Springfield, he said, he'll give you 15 minutes. So I wrote 15 minutes of my weird. I mean, I'm always weird, but I think I was more weird. And I don't know if Mary has noticed this with the early, the album. If you've heard that album yet, the Putting Smiles on the Faces of Dead People, available at willfranken.com. But I think when I was younger, it was much more weird than satirical. I think the satire crept in a little bit later. So then, back in the day, it was just pure weird. And like well, I don't want to give away the album, but there's the boy who gets into a food fight with the sun, which I've done live a few times. He gets into a food fight with the sun. Well, just I don't want to give away the surprise. You have to buy the album, don't you? And somebody asked me, one of the first bits I ever did with my friend Danny, who's since passed on many years ago, because Danny had a 4-track recorder for music, and I said, how much does this cost? I've got to get one. I want to do comedy, and I made him do a comedy sketch. And the first bit I ever did on a 4-track was Nietzsche calling up Hitler the night after a party and say, last night some of the Jew stuff got taken out of context. So just to let you know, I said I don't want you to think that I was saying something when I'm not. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. So Hitler, was it Nietzsche calls Hitler, who's still hung over, and Nietzsche's worried that he's going to take some of the stuff he said about the Jews and twist it. So I'd written out all of this weird stuff, like a 15-minute psychedelic, like anybody who's seen my live shows or heard Silvatico, like one thing leads to another, and must have been, early 20s, before I did before recording the album, Mary. And I drove up to Kansas City, a town I knew very well, but I never gigged there, and I went to this comedy club. And America, this is, Britain's problem with stand-up comedy, pre-America, is one of the biggest disappointments I had was coming to this country and realize, oh my God, you guys do like regular stand-up here. What an idiot, what a short-sighted idiot I was. You do this, yeah. Wow, that sucks, I was really disappointed. But one of the problems that Britain has, the format never changes. It's like, we've got myself, there's an opening act, then there's 2 middle acts, and then there's a closing act, and you can talk while I'm up here, but don't talk when the act's up here, respect the acts. And it's this package of, 1, 2, 3, 5 things, And in America, their problem was that they were like, everybody in the world be 20, we got 20 comedians tonight. Think about that. Tonight's show, this is the Walmart of comedy. We got everything. We got a Chinese fella. He's going to talk about noodles tonight. We got a black guy. We even got a gay guy. He's going to talk about being real. We got a penis in the poo-poo. We're going to have some jokes like that. We got 45 comedians. It's going to be a 12-hour show because don't think that we don't give you everything in America, and you get free refill on all your potato chips. And, this is much, right, more big, right? So there must have been about 15 people in the dressing room of this club whose name I don't even know. And I had 15 minutes prepared, rehearsed, about 30 different voices in 15 minutes. And the guy comes out, the booker or whatever, and he says, all right, if this is your first time performing tonight, you get 3 minutes. I said, the guy in Springfield told me I get 15. He goes, I'm sorry, first time performing, you get 3 minutes. Now, a lot of people would have looked at the 15 minutes they had and just they would chopped out a bunch of stuff and just left 3 minutes. But what I decided to do was to take the 15 minutes I had, because I didn't want to get rid of anything, and speed it up to 3 minutes. So I went, and nobody knew what the fuck I was on about. It was a horrible experience, but I remember what the MC said. And it's one of the reasons why I've hated MCs ever since, because the MC comes on afterwards and he says, I'm just taking a guess here, but I'm going to say that guy has a doctor. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And then the tempo really slowed down after that, and everybody after me was just, so my name is Ryan. Yeah. It's kind of weird having a name like Ryan. I was like, no, it's not. How is it? Oh, it's weird because you said it's weird, and now we have to go with you. We have to lock minds with you. Take us to the place where Ryan is a weird name. Explain, Mr. Comedian, explain. Anyway, that was my little blast down memory lane, which is at 53. Kind of seems like that's all you got these days. But anyway, the show was great. The show was really good on Monday, and I have another show. And I've been told that I have permission to sell this show again. So the show is in Brighton, a fun place. If you ever have been there, they sell rock candy. No, I've always had a good time in Brighton. Not like that. So please come down to Brighton. It's the 30th. You guys hear me? The 30th of Sunday. The 30th of the Sunday. So Sunday the 30th. Okay, Sunday the 30th of this month, August. August the 30th of August. August Sunday. Sunday the, is that Sunday? Let me just check the calendar here. Yes, Sunday the 30th. Sunday the 30th. The show is, oh, sorry, I'll have to get back to the let's say 7 or 8. I forgot to ask the time. £10. Mates Rates. Will Franken's back to Brighton, right? And yes, it's going to be different material. I might repeat 1 or 2 bits because Monday was all brand new. And there was one bit in particular that I really, really liked that I would like to do again. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, come down to Brighton. The place is called Madame or Madame Lola's. Okay? I'm sure it's, where's the piece of paper? Yeah, Madame Lola's in Brighton. Sunday, fun day, a fun day on Sunday. It's a bank holiday weekend too, by the way. So I'm getting closer and closer to getting back to performing on the weekends because Sunday, of course, means Saturday. Because there's no, whatever you call it, the ordinary people do. You know, it's Monday. Yeah, so I've got to check the old email. It's Monday. Got to get up and check the old email and see who wants me dead. Oh, them money. They don't like me. Yep. Council wants to send me to jail again. Oh, well, it's been quite a work week for me. Well, I talked to myself and did some characters and then was frightened again by the council. They threatened to throw me in jail and, yes. Then my landlord, he wants to, yes, he's been quite cruel, yes, all that stuff, yes. Been quite a, well, it's been sort of up, down, sort of, yes, but one doesn't enough. The Sunday, the 30th, Madame Lola's, if you would like to buy a ticket, just like the last two shows, then drop me a $10. The PayPal link will be below. I think it's PayPal, me, WB Franken. I should pull up now and be a proper, responsible marketer. I really got, the comedy is just something I'm doing for my marketing myself. Actually, what I really want to do is type. I've been doing a little bit of medical transcription, you know, because it needs must, right? And I've had to learn about things like cystic fibrosis, medication. Currently taking Kaftrio 2 times a day with Caladecchio on the, wow. So constantly looking up these terms. I'm going to go to my, go to Will Franken's site. I'm telling my finger what to do. Yeah, click YouTube Studio. Okay, I have to send a message to my finger. I have one of those digital fingers. I can speak commands to my finger. Okay, go to click Content. Good, or tap, whatever word you prefer. Okay, now I'm sending a message to the thumb and the index. Slide down. Okay, now open up previous video. And go to, do you see where it says, sir, yes, sir, are you still the same person? I am, yes, good. Do you see where it says paypal.me/WB Franken? Yes, I do. Okay, now tell the people that. Okay, yeah, so that, if you want to like reserve a ticket, it is paypal.me/WB Franken. You can also become a patron. You might have noticed that the last 2 videos I've stopped the comments. You know, and I'm sorry because I know some of you want to might want to leave comments or whatever, and I'm, you know, but then every now and and it's sad that a few rotten apples have to spoil it for everybody. But also the main thing is to come on, it's got to be like, you know, I talk to the patrons. I've met many of the patrons. I've gotten drunk. Monday I was patrons got me drunk. As they did in Brighton. It was nice. I mean, you know, it was nice. Yeah. I don't often drink, but, you know, when it's being offered me, I have been known to sup at the lips of King Lager. That's mixed up metaphors. So that's August the 30th at Madame Lola's in Brighton. I don't know the venue, but sounds like a whole hell of a lot of fun. And if you want to pay for a ticket, if you want to reserve a ticket, if you want to help get Silvatico 6 finished. I had to, unfortunately, the last week or week and a half, I had to put Silvatico 6 on hold. I have, it's about 45 to 50 minutes of material in the can, so now it's kind of about just shaping it, right? So I don't, but the thing is, like, the longer I delay, the more ideas keep coming into my head going, oh, I'd like to stick that in there. That'd be good. That'd be good to wedge that in there before it is released. But I have to remind myself there is one more Silvatico after this, and then I'm on to some other series. And that's so I had to put that on hold while I did the brand new hour for Clapham, and again that Clapham video, hopefully, touch wood, Gordon will send my way soon, and I'll make that available at the shop. But if you would like to help me finish Silvatico 6 or get your name in the credits, you can use that same PayPal link. And if you would like to get a ticket for the Brighton show, £10, mates rates. Very, very. It's just nice. It's a nice, right? None of this silly online shit. Well, $2.50 within something. Not impersonal. Things so impersonal. I've really been obsessed with this cost of living crisis because I've known millionaires. I was in a band with millionaires. I've mentioned before that the Covers band. And one of the millionaires who has an indoor pool said to me one night when he was driving me home, "Do you know, Will, that the super rich are getting even richer?" So, there's a story by Voltaire, Micromagus. I just want to double check that. No, I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to research it. It's Micromagus, I'm sure. Micromagus, Megas. It's a very early sci-fi story, and it's all about sizes, really. There's a giant, and in order to hear the little people of one planet, he has to hold them. He has to actually shove them in his ear to hear the speech of the little people. And I was thinking, like, that must be what it's like for a multi-millionaire to think that he's being hard done by a billionaire. And telling somebody who's not even 1,000-aire or even 100-aire half the time how bad he's got it. It's like, are you fucking obtuse or what, man? But then, that's me. I'm a happy minstrel. I wasn't going to speak long, just to do my bit, right? So the roundup again is, I'd like to see you down. If you couldn't make the London show, I hope you can make the Brighton show. Sunday, the 30th of August. Maybe that's what I'll do. That's what I'll fake a lisp. Then I'll go. That's it. I'll fake a lisp, and I'll go to all of these lisp foundations, and I'll say, you know what? I'd like to bring a show to the Edinburgh this year. Just the lighter side of lisping. And kind of like so people can relate. It's like you come to my show and you don't have a lisp. But, you'll hear, like, maybe you could, like, not, what's the word, empathize, sympathize, it's one of those two, I forget. But you'll say, I didn't know, I don't have a list myself, but I could identify. So what I'm asking for is I'm asking for £25,000 for just the little flyers I need. And I could use a big surfboard because I want to give it a little bit of a twist, like surfing and lisping, because I think there are about 2,000 other shows up there that already deal with lisping, but mine would be the first one to deal with what it's like to be a lisping surfer. Surfing USA. Fucking Fringe, man. What bullshit, I'll never forget. I did these. I went to the Stand Comedy Club in 2016. I said, I'm going to do these awards just to let you know. I think it's fair to let you know. I'm going to do these awards at the end of the year. Where I kind of make fun of like other shows. On top of doing my own show, I'm actually going to go around and review these other shows. And they said, that's fine. I got and then at the end of the year, they said, no, Will Franken's never going to work with us again because that was bad for the community. You fucking little bastard liars. And that's always how it is, isn't it? When I meet people, I say, oh yeah, I didn't know that happened with Comedy Unleashed. Yeah, of course you did. And you know why? Because Comedy Unleashed is the machine. That's it. 6 million views. The Greta Thunberg thing. Well, I speak of the Oxford Union. Oxford Union called Steve Kissinger. And then when he said, "Hey, don't you tell me what to do, man," and when I make fun of Toby Young in the audience, and all that shit, like free speech union. Oh no, you can't make fun of us. And that one they wouldn't give me the video for. And I knew they wouldn't. And that's why I told my girlfriend ahead of time, I said, you're going to have to film this on your phone because they will not give me this video. I know these cocksuckers well enough by now. I know that they like when you make fun of other people, but the moment you put them down for their fucking Oxford Union think tank shit, that's it, man. They make you disappear. And they're not really for free speech. I think we all know that now. Anyway, that video, just to reference it, is Will Franken Unleashed. Not the most original title, but it is quite fun. It's where I talk about Konstantin Kissin, and how he had to fucking, go on the barbed wire, right? Because he was so fucking persecuted. This guy, and I'm going to tell you, look at me, bitch, when I'm talking to you. This is a fucking war. It's a war for fucking free speech. I get up every fucking morning, and I'm on X, all right? All right? And that, by the way, that fucking gay boy from Oxford, Andrew Doyle, he's one of my biggest fucking soldiers. Yeah, and Toby Young is in the fucking audience, and they were fucking mortified. And all these people, Andrew, oh God, Dominic Frisby, like, oh my God, what is it? The horror. And I was like, what do you expect me to do? Don't you ever tell me what I can and can't do, especially if you're a fucking free speech. Anyway, that's what we talked about. Because all the stuff I've talked about, it just doesn't make me happy. And I realized that what I need to do is I need to just get on a bunch of dumb drugs and stop thinking so darn much. This is stinking thinking. Your head needs to be taken out and thrown in the river. Okay, what am I going to do tonight? Are you talking to me? Is there anybody else here? You talking to me? What am I going to do tonight? I'm going to watch Bollywood. Bollywood makes me happy. Oh, I'm just, Frank Beard, of course, from ZZ Top has passed on, and is there anything else I want to say before I close shop tonight? Just to be clear, to recap, the main thing, right? A week from today, because I'm going to launch this. I'm going to launch it tomorrow. I don't know how the internet. I don't know the tricks of the trade, right? I do know this though. I found ZZ Top's first album on here the other day, and it's been up for 2 years, I'm pretty sure. 2 years, no ads, and it had about 200 views and no comment. And I thought, you know what, that's where we are now. And one of my patrons was explaining to me that, I guess post-COVID or whatever the fuck COVID was, right, that it's, I don't forget the language, like there's more cheating going on than ever, like this is, buying comments and I just want to I may have like a small number of views, but I've never cheated. I've never bought comments. First off, who's got the fucking money to do that? Right? I've never stacked it. It's like what you see is what you get, And I've only recently, I say because of the few bad apples, I've only recently stopped the comments thing because it's just nothing's more anticlimactic than to put your heart into something or. That's why, like Paradise Lost, I never allowed comments on my audiobook of Paradise Lost because you don't want to spend 14 months making something and then, hey, I saw your show at the Nacho Factory. It's like, no, man, because it's been, I'm vowing that I'm going to do a little bit more of this just to remind people because I have to. Money doesn't grow on trees, son. You got to go out there and sit on your laptop and say something. But to recap, come to the show in Brighton, which is only a week away because I'm releasing this video tomorrow. Yeah, so I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know if you released something on Saturday that it affected, so maybe I'll wait till Sunday afternoon. That is if people go out anymore, I don't know. But so come to the show in Brighton, Madame Lola's, this 30th of August, Sunday, the bank holiday weekend. If you're around, if you're in the area, or if you want to take a huge long trip and come from somewhere else, I don't care. It's not like, where you come from, Pennsylvania? Get the fuck out of here. Whoa, I didn't mean I don't believe you. Get the fuck out of here. You came from Pennsylvania? So if you want to come, that's £10, and you go to this link, which will be in the description. Where is it? PayPal.me/WB Franken. If you want to just keep supporting me, you can do that on a monthly basis by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Will Franken. But what we really, and when I say we, I mean myself and this, my ear. I would love for you to go to the shop, willfranken.com, and let's start over again. £10 will reserve you a ticket at the show in Brighton, the 30th of August. You could also just contribute using the PayPal link to, I want to help you get Silvatico 6 made, or I just like the cut of your jib, and I want you to keep making art and not go completely off the rails. Because it does seem to be a very, weird. David Mitchell's got something up on the BBC now about why we like cozy crime. There's nothing real. Are you not seeing the bullshit that's going on out there? So anyway, so you can do that via the PayPal link, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/Will Franken, or you can visit the shop, willfranken.com, and purchase any one of the good. And there's new goodies are going up all the time as well. I'm constantly putting stuff like, oh yeah, I did this too. I got this. One of my should we say supporters, backers from Australia. I hope he's watching this. Sammy Alligator, Sammy Alligators from Australia. He said something about the prolific. I don't want to use that. The words were so complimentary, but I don't want to blow your own. But it was like, I'm extremely prolific. I mean, I have. Well, we know there's, I think, around 26 hours with one of the series, and then the Silvatico series is already, I don't know how many hours that is. We've got at least 5-6 hours of stuff right there. And anyway, so yeah, do visit these sites, and because I could use your help. I really could. I could use your help. I have some very uncreative forces in my life. I'm not allowed to talk about them right now, but they're uncreative forces. They're people whose job it is just to fucking lie, so they can try to wheedle some fucking money out of you, because they're fucking non-creative entities, and they're a drain. They're an absolute drain on creative people. I'd love to tell you more. And actually, if you want to know more, the best way to find out more is to become a patron at patreon.com/Will Franken, because that's when I let it all out. And I'm not going to be like that. There was I think it was during COVID, was this Sky reporter. I hated this. He's wearing a tie and he's delivering the news. That's all the news today here at Sky. And then he undoes his tie and does the thing. He goes, now for the news behind the news. It's the Sky News podcast. And you fucking wankers. It was bad enough down here already with all the muck and the filth and the stupidity, and now you guys up there with the money. Let's slum it. Yeah, podcasting. By the way, is there anybody stupider than Joe Rogan? I don't think so. Anyway, that's just so. What were we watching? My girlfriend put a clip on him the other day. I go, he is everything that's wrong with it. Well, you said about so many things, but like this, yeah. Well, it's like, like when women do this, like then they end up owning Disney. Yeah. So anyway, please, what the fuck? I've gone on too long. Yeah, but I'm not gonna make. Well, anyway, so that's. I think I've reiterated all the main bullet points right now. But yeah, if you want to know, right. The real the Will Franken stuff he's going through, which is entertaining for the folks over there on the Patreon. Because once a week I talk to the patrons every Sunday. I just every Sunday I check in with them, and I go as long as an hour and a half. And they know all of the bullshit that I'm going on right now, and the real sick, evil fuckers in my. And you might have them too, right? You probably do, right? Wherever you are, and especially in this country of Britain, sick people of no talent, that councils, stuff like that, right? Nothing to offer the world, just fucking tax collectors, scum of the earth, right? And but it's the cost of. We're all involved in this because it's the cost of living crisis. I mean, I wanted to buy a glow-in-the-dark bow and arrow. I've got to put that on hold because it's a cost of living crisis. What did you want to buy? A can of fucking beans, mate. A tin of fucking beans, mate. It's all like this Anglo-American mishmash in my head sometimes. So yeah, cost of living crisis. But if you want to know the whole story, the best way to do that is become patron at patreon.com/Will Franken again. And I'm going to click the off button now. Again, PayPal link for helping me finish Silvatico 6, which after the show on the 30th, that's going to be my sole priority. After the show on the 30th, my sole priority will be to, okay, because you don't have any live stuff coming up, finish that album. So if you that's PayPal links to help me do that. Or what's the other thing? Or you can buy a ticket for the Brighton show. And some of you did do that option for Clapham, so you know it works. You know I say, that's it, I've got your name on the list too, right? And then the Patreon thing, if you want to become a patron, patreon.com/Will Franken. And then the Will Franken shop. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And one of the things to go in it very soon will be the 1 hour video. You know, if it looks good, I mean, if the footage is good, I'm going to put it all together and have the 1 hour live at Clapham show, just like I've got the 1 hour live at Dalton's and Brighton show. So I hope to see you live. I hope to hear from you somewhere there. God bless each and every one of you. And that's it for me. I'm Andy Warhol Jr. Good night.